Ladies, we're going to go over how to do your March flowers for your You Make Me Happy Shamrock page. So I've got one of each one of the pieces out here. I have assembled the small flowers because I thought those were pretty self-explanatory and kind of simple. But I do want to go over the large flower and the small flower with you guys because I feel like they could be a little bit more tricky. So when we're doing the large flower, we're going to pop dot. We're going to have 3 pieces of purple for this. So we've got the back, we've got the middle section, and then we've got a leaf that looks like it's flopped over. So we're going to take our pop dots and we are going to put them on, and I need to cut a few here. I always like to cut my pop dots on my sheet. So I'm going to put the pop dots on. And then I'm going to glue this right on top of this flower here. Okay, a little bit off like that. So don't worry about this. Just make sure you're kind of, lined up a little bit with this back leaves. And then this piece is going to go on like that. So I need another pop dot on this one. So I've got my pop dot on there. And now I'm going to set it right on top so it looks like it's kind of folded over, okay? So the yellow piece, I'm going to add that right now too. I could have already did that. This one we just need adhesive on, so grab your adhesive that you like to use. And you're going to tuck it right inside that one that we just put on, minus the cat hair. Ollie's been up here with me all morning. So that's how that one's going to get assembled. Let's do the smaller flower because you're going to have 2 big ones and 1 small flower. So on this one, we are going to pop dot this little flap where it's like it's the leaf that's turned forward. And that's just going to go right on there. It lines up pretty good with the edges of this. And then we can take our yellow and we're going to tuck it in. This one's less pieces, a little bit simpler. And then that's it for this one here. So we've got our pieces of our flowers. Once you've got them together like that, we can go ahead and do the next step. So on here, I'm going to start with one of the easy ones, which is the green. Okay, we think we can get it a little bit closer in on this one. There we go. So I'm using my Zig Writer. And I'm coloring all the stems black. And then I like to make this kind of V towards the leaves. So I go up towards the leaves on both sides. Okay, and then I'm going to take my smaller end and I'm just going to trace around the tips of these. Just kind of quickly following the shape. We can do a couple dots. And then I do put a line through the center on these. So that'll be our next step. All right, that looks pretty good. Now I'm just going to add a little line up through the center. And that is it for these guys. Okay, so let's set that aside until we're on to our next step. And let's grab one of the purple ones that are all assembled here. I did do like a lot of coloring just at the tip with the green and the purple, just like that. That's pretty much all I did. So I'm going to do that on both. And then I'm going to go around the darker purple. I'm going to add some dots in there. And I also dotted the little round nubs that are on this. Okay. I didn't do any lines on the stems or anything like that. And then I did some big dotting. So you use the other side of your marker and do a few of the big dots. So that is good there. So we'll set that one aside. We've got these two pieces done. And now we're gonna go for our purple flowers. Let me set those over there. So I have the big purple flower. We're gonna take a little bit more time drawing around the edges of this. So go ahead and grab your thin end and go around all the edges. One kind of continuous motion. If it's not, that's okay. Just stop and start. And then just through here. On the yellow, I'm going to draw across that too. And then I'm going to add some lines. And definitely dotting close to the bottom. And now for the rest of these, I also want to add a few lines. So like some veining coming up. And then once I've got those little veins in there, I'm going to go back and I'm going to add some dotting. And I like to move my flower instead of moving my hand, but that's just how I like to do it. All right, let's do the big side. Let's get some big dots in here. Heavy, right next to the yellow, where it meets that purple. Okay, that looks good to me. So I've got that piece, I've got these ones, and now I need my little guy right here. So we'll get that done, and then we will be all set and ready for our next step. So we're going to do the same thing where we do the whole outer edges. Do it around that. Do some nice lines. And then a few coming from the center. Dots. Big side. Real close. All right, I like it. Once you've got it and you like how it looks, we're gonna go back and we're gonna start with our chalk. Zig writer first, then your chalk. Now, I actually only did a little bit to this guy, so I'm pulling out my chalk right now, and I'm gonna get one of the lighter green colors from what my, what the color of the green on the paper is. And I'm just going to do the edges of it. Just get a little highlight, brush it off, and move on. Set that guy aside. I'm going to get my light purple flower, and I'm going to do a little bit of black right where I put that black. So it kind of like fuzzies it in, makes it a little bit softer looking. I'm going to do little tips of the balls right there. And then I'm going to go back with a brighter purple. and just go around the very edges of it. Clean it up and push it to the side. Now for these guys here, I'm actually going to use the same color purple and just do a little bit of highlighting where I put that veins. Might do that small one again. I'm not sure it was on the camera since I've got you guys so zoomed in. So just so you guys see, let me pop it up there, just right where the veining was. And then that's it. Just give it a nice dab off, just like this one, so it's not powdery. Okay. All right, that looks pretty good. Let me grab a clean sheet so I can glue them down to put the paint and the glitter glue on. So we've got a clean sheet. I'm going to start with my big guy. Just going to put a little bit there. Now, of course, if I was making this page, I would do it on my page. I wouldn't glue it to a scrap sheet. But I actually have a customer's flowers here, so I'm just putting a little bit of adhesive so that you guys can see how to do the glitter glue and stuff without it moving all over for me. Oh my goodness. Let's set that back in there. Okay, so that's pretty good. We've got them glued down. And now we're gonna go back with the white paint and the glitter glue. I always like to do the white paint first. So I'm dipping my toothpick into the paint. I'm gonna put a couple little dots on the purple ends, and I kind of did them just in the center there, just a few, and that's pretty much it. And then I'm gonna go back. I didn't do any on the leaves, and I'm gonna do a few. And every time I make these flowers, they're always gonna be slightly different. Depending on the positioning, I might decide to add paint somewhere else that I didn't the first time, and that's okay. They don't have to always look the same. Flowers do not look the same. All right, that looks good to me. So I'm gonna stop with the paint and I'm gonna put the yellow glitter glue on. So I'm using Sunburst. That's my favorite color when it comes to doing the flowers. And I did the edges, and I use a lot. I would never put this much glitter glue on most things, but I really like how it looks on the flowers. Really heavy. Right there. We're going to go a little bit on the veining, and it looks so messy until it's dry, but once it's dry, it's just great. And then I just did a little bit on the edges of the purple flowers. And then that, just a little bit right here, and we are all set, guys. That looks great. Once it dries, it'll be perfect. So there is our You Make Me Happy flowers for March. And if you have any questions, just let me know.